Hello there, everybody. My name is Soul, and today I'm talking about the new movie that pits the baddest baddies in all of cinema against each other. I'm talking about Godzilla vs. Kong, baby! And a little bit of background for me and the Monsterverse. Godzilla 2014, I wasn't a big fan of. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I remember when it came out, I was just kind of like, yeah, it was pretty good. And then Godzilla King of the Monsters came out, and I was very meh about it. I have a video on the channel, main channel, your boy Soul. Yeah, it's kind of whatever. I was all right with it. Then, in preparation for this movie, I watched Kong Skull Island, and damn, do I wish I saw that movie in the theater because I was actually a pretty big fan of Kong Skull Island. It was a big monster movie, and it knew exactly what it wanted to be, and I think that carried over to this movie. Kong Skull Island is much more important in the story, in my opinion, because if anything, King Kong is the hero of this movie, and Godzilla is the like kind of anti-hero antagonist. And then like it's later revealed there might be another antagonist. This is gonna be spoiler light, by the way. I'm gonna tiptoe on some spoilers if that's okay. But anyway, Godzilla vs Kong is about originally King Kong has to be moved somewhere. He keeps trying to break out of his little prison that they set up for him on Kong Skull Island, but if he goes out of there, then Godzilla will kill him. I don't think he would because our version of Godzilla seems pretty chill. He seems to just kind of like submit everyone to his will and then moves on. And we'll take him for the word that he'll die if they fight or whatever. And then there's this random like scientist dude who has this whole theory about a hollow earth, a land within inside the center of the earth. And he thinks that's where all the kaiju are coming from, and he wants to put Kong there. He gets this funding from this evil billionaire douchebag. And meanwhile, Godzilla is destroying the place. He's wrecking the joint. He just destroys a random city for no reason. And so we're like, oh shit, Godzilla's a bad guy now. Well, we better do something about it. And by doing something about it, we just kind of follow two characters. The girl from the last King Kong movie meets up with this conspiracy theorist who assumes that the government's making like some kind of spooky behind the scenes magic bullshit. And it's played by Paperboy from Atlanta. Um they have an interesting chemistry, and then they kind of get this buddy road trip dynamic. They tag along their fat friend who happens to have a vehicle, and then they like break into a facility. It's so like written poor. I want to say poorly written, but it's so like written like in the sense of whatever. Because they're literally planning what they're like, what's the plan? And they're like literally doing this as they're about to break into the place. But they have like secret handshakes. Like you got the time to make fucking secret handshakes, but you can't make a plan until you get to the place you're breaking into. Like, what the hell? And in all honesty, the Kong Hollow Earth story I was much more invested in. There's this little girl who can communicate with Kong, and she actually provides a lot of weight to the story. It's not like she's like the heart and soul of the film or anything, but she does actually make you care a little bit more about Kong's relationship with humanity, and like there's some shitty people in her group that are just trying to like just Kong, get out of here, and there's some bad guys tossed in here and there. There's a lot of like plot that's just like a character saying something super convenient. There's a lot of like locations that are like connected to other locations and events that like that's pretty convenient, but again, this is Godzilla vs. King Kong. I came here to watch big monsters fight around the city and not give a fuck how many people die in the process. And for the most part, it delivers on that tremendously. The fights in this one are much better than all three previous films. Sure, King Kong had to get a lot bigger. He had to get a lot more kaiju sized. I remember like in the original King Kong, he would get shot by helicopters, like 1960s, like going to Vietnam helicopters, and then he was bleeding. And now he's just taking like missiles. He's fine. So King Kong has stepped up to the plate, and you actually do believe that because originally when you tell someone this, they would be like, "Oh, Godzilla would win. He has like hyper breath. He has claws and teeth, and he can take on much worse." But they introduced an axe that was shown in the trailers, and originally I was like, "Oh, they gave him a fucking axe. Good luck." But they actually make you really care. Like that there is actual backstory as to why he has this axe, and it's probably as good as it could be, and it actually makes it more believable in the fight. Not only that, but King Kong, like in the fight, is shown to be like smarter and using more of the environment, and that's what kind of makes it more of a realistic fight. But the conclusion is solid. The conclusion is an actually real conclusion. They don't just like wipe their hands and they're done. Because a lot of people thought going into this film that Kong and Godzilla would team up to fight something worse. I'm not going to say that's what happened, but like the way that they go from A plot to B plot is a lot better than what it could have been. This movie could have been a mess. There could have been pacing issues, characters, the human characters could have been completely useless or completely not worth investing in. But I actually cared about the humans more so on the Hollow Earth side, because there's two different plots. At some point, the cringy one-liners coming from the B camp, the Godzilla family, which Godzilla has no connection to these people. He doesn't even realize they're there for the battle. When that's happening, there's like some goofy lines. Like Paperboy has a scene where he's like pouring a drink on something that's really dumb. There's some dumb stuff happening, but it's a dumb movie. It knows it's a dumb movie. But the care that is going into these big action pieces and what happens in this big action moment, that's why you came to the film, and that's what it delivers upon. There's big fights. There's actually two big fights, both of which are unique, and it's actually shot really good. The sound design is fucking great. I was worried that it was going to be filmed at night. You couldn't see anything, because all these films have different styles. The first Godzilla film, it was kind of hard to see him. It's, a little more dusty. Kong Skull Island was like a Vietnam War movie with all these like harsh yellows and all these other stuff like that. And then you come to this movie and there's like this kind of neon aesthetic in Hong Kong, and they're on this giant aircraft carrier. There's a lot of crazy stuff like that, but they pull it off. It has its own style. It works for this film. You have these close-up shots of the monsters where you're supposed to like really take in their emotion, and like you care about this fight. I don't care who you are. You gave a shit whether Godzilla or Kong won, and there is a clear winner. And then they still have time to do a lot of other fun things. And I could see, like, if you're 13 years old, this is the best movie you've ever seen. I can tell you right now that this is the best movie you've ever seen. So, yeah, kind of dumb in some places, little convenient here. Couple things in the script I would have polished up on a little bit, but for the most part, Godzilla vs. Kong is a fun-ass time. It's a fun roller coaster. You get on, you have a lot of fun, you turn your brain off, good times ahead. So, I'm going to give this film an 8 out of 10. It's a great film. Thank you so much for watching. I have other movie content all around. You can watch my King of the Monsters video if you want more. Thank you for watching, and until next time, with that, I leave you.